Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm super excited today to be coming at you guys with a brand new deck profile. I'm so sorry, it's been so long since we've uploaded on the channel. A lot of different things have been happening, just haven't had much of the time, but I've been steadily working on a bunch of different decks. As you guys know, yesterday, the ban list dropped, and man, was that a list. Tomias the God Monarch is going to have a reaction video of him reacting to that list when we get to it. But when I saw that list, there was a lot of stuff that came back. And needless to say, guys, I was prepared. I've had this deck in the works for a long time, and I've been waiting for the day where I could finally show it to you guys. That deck, guys, of course, is Windups. With the list yesterday, Windup Magician went back to 3, guys. That's right. Windups are technically at full power once again. Very, very exciting. Now, I will say this, though. You know, with that coming back, the loss of Soul Charge did hurt the deck a bit, but it's still a very, very fun strategy and something that you can use for anything. Leaving the Link monsters as well as the extra deck up to you guys, because there's a lot of new Link monsters. You can throw in synchros, you can throw in anything. It's going to make this deck really, really good. But I think the most important thing is going to be pointing out the main deck, because the main deck I've retooled to be able to pump out more monsters than ever before, and I think it's really, really awesome. So guys, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. I'm going to explain all the Windup cards for people who might not know what they are or what they do. It's been a long time since this deck has been a thing. I think 2011, 2012 or something. So very, very excited for that. So starting things out first, we have finally 3 copies of Windup Magician. Windup Magician is one of your huge playmakers in this deck, and it's got the effect. So basically, all Windups have a common effect. It's kind of the way you wind them up. So once while they're on the field, they can activate a certain effect. It's kind of like a once per turn effect, except they can only activate it 1 time. However, if you were to, like, flip them face down or banish them or, do some other stuff to them, you'll be able to activate more effects, or you can activate more than 1 wind-up effect per turn if you have a way to get it off the field, get it back on, or to sort of reset its current position on the field. Wind-up Magician is a fantastic card because when this card is on the field and you activate the effect of a wind-up monster, that Windup Magician allows you to special summon a Windup monster from your deck in defense position. Very, very good card. Very, very strong. And for it going to 1 and then finally to 2 for a while was very troublesome, because it combos extremely well with the one and only Windup Shark. So Windup Shark has a special ability. When you normal summon a Windup monster or special summon one, you can special summon this card from your hand, and that special summon is treated as an effect, which means if you go Magician and then special summon Shark, that will count as activating a wind-up effect, and you can activate Magician's effect to special summon any wind-up monster from your deck. Usually you'll special summon another Magician so that you can keep looping Magician's effect and putting monsters on the board, putting XYZs, putting links, all sorts of crazy shenanigans you can do with this. Magician Shark is one of the huge combo plays of this deck. Now, the card that you'll usually want to grab with Magician Shark is the one and only Windup Rat. Now, Windup Rat, very, very cool card as well. It's in defense position, or when this card is on the field, you can switch it from attack mode to defense mode, special summon any Windup monster from your graveyard. Monster Reborn kind of effect. Very strong when it comes to, sort of making Link 2s or making XYZ monsters, particularly like level 3s and things like that. As I forgot to mention with Shark, of course, guys, I am a little bit excited about this list, is that Shark also has the ability to change its level, which means that if you were to trigger a wind-up Magician's effect, bring it to the field, when Shark changes its level again, you can then special summon something else with the second Magician's effect. And one of the old plays that a lot of people love to do is to special summon Rat in defense mode and then play Photon Papilloperative, which can switch your Rat back into attack mode. And then, so you can switch it to defense and grab something else from your graveyard. Now, one of the cool cards that a lot of people like to grab is the Hand Loop Master himself, one copy of Windup Hunter. I only got one copy of him here because that's really all you need, and he doesn't have an inherent special summon ability of his own. He doesn't really net you any advantage by himself for extend any plays. He's just sort of in here for that play. So he's kind of like a little bit of a consistency problem, especially now in 2019, where there is not as much back row as there was when Windups first came out. The last Windup card that I want to showcase to you guys today is Windup Rabbit. And Windup Rabbit is probably one of the best ones. Basically, his effect allows you to banish any Windup on the field until your next standby phase, including himself. So he was actually running a deck called Chain Beat way back in the day, popularized by old Yugi tuber and strong player Wilson Tsang, I believe his name was. But this Windup Rabbit is extremely good, keeps your advantage going, and prevents your opponent from really doing anything. You can just chain to banish him from any effect. You can chain to banisher like Windup Magician, for instance, as well, to trigger other effects and continue off your plays from there. The last couple of monsters I'm running in the deck are 2 copies of Artifact Mortal Attack and 1 copy of Artifact Scythe. This has remained the same. Windups cannot really do too much by themselves, which means that you need to give them a lot of spell and trap help in order for them to actually be able to do anything. They also rely heavily on back row as well as their spell card. So running things like Evenly Matched and Red Reboot can run into problems down the line, which is unfortunate, but that's the way that Windups were designed. And so playing them in that way will allow you to better play to their strengths rather than recreating or retooling the deck just so that they can run a specific card. Now, speaking of that Windup spell card, one of the best of all time, Windup Factory. Continuous spell card. Whenever a Windup effect is activated, once per turn, you can add 1 Windup from your deck to your hand. And this is any Windup monster in your deck, so pretty much searches your whole deck save for the artifacts. Extremely good card. You have this together with Magician and Shark, and it used to be an OTK. Now, maybe not so much anymore. OTK on an empty field, but it'll give you a lot more materials to link away into various monsters. Very, very good card. And if you have more than 1 on the field, guys, you can stack the effect. So that's another benefit of this card. Next card we're running, of course, because Windups absolutely abhor back row, 3 copies of Twin Twister. Remember the last deck had MSTs, but you got to have Twin Twister in here. The one problem I will mention is that Windups also have trouble with hand economy. So that's another issue. Like, I think it's an issue with just the fact that the deck has been power creeped in a lot of ways and doesn't quite generate the kind of advantage that a lot of players are used to, which can be an issue for them. But Twin Twister can sort of rid the field of those crappy back rows that a lot of people are not really a fan of. So that's Twin Twisters. Next card we're running, sorry to say, is only 1 copy of Scapegoats. This is down from 2. Scapegoats went to 1 on this list, so we can only run 1 copy of it. Still a very, very good card and a play extender by itself. Really amazing. Now, next card we're running, of course, is Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is great for getting back any of your windups. Resets the field, sets the play, can trigger Shark's ability, can trigger, you know, really any ability that you have, can get a rabbit back. Very, very good card. And finally, for the last spell is a personal little tech that I've been testing out. 1 copy of Crazy Summon Dice. Now, dice roll effects are, you know, inherently bad for chance, but with this effect, you have a really, really good opportunity to make a good effect. So based on the roll type, if you roll 1 or 2, you can special summon a, you normal summon 1 monster after that effect activates. So if you have like a magician and like a rabbit in your hand, it immediately allows you to get another one. If you roll a 3 or 4, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard, like a wind-up rat in attack mode to activate an effect. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, you can special summon a 1 level 5 or higher monster from your hand. Now, this is really, really good because one of the things I've noticed with running these artifacts, you know, I brick for a living, guys, so these guys are always ending up in my hand. Summon dice can get them on the field and get an effect activated in response, rather than having to set them and wait for my opponent to deal with them. Very cool card. Now moving on to the trap cards. So we've got to have this card right here, guys. Reckless Greed. I'm deciding to run this stuff instead of like card destruction and hand destruction because the issues have always come up with how my hand is utilizing its economy. And I can't, there's some cards that I just cannot ditch from my hand to the graveyard, even if there's like no field space left. So Reckless Greed allows me to, I guess, cheat out more cards and try and gain myself that falsified advantage. But if I can stack more than one of these, I get, like, for instance, 4 draws, and I only miss 2 standby phases. Very cool card. Next, of course, since we got the artifacts, 3 Artifact Sanctums, special summon an artifact monster from your deck. Also really good for stacking their special abilities. Now we have the Battle Traps, 2 Storming Mirror Force and 2 Quaking Mirror Force. Very good cards in their own right. Basically, Battle Traps are not as good as they used to be, but, you know, you're running windups, so a lot of times people won't be afraid of your Battle Trap, so they won't be afraid to attack in. So you might be able to trigger people with having Storming and Quaking, and I have done it several times. I found them much more useful than other cards, and that's just personal preference, but depending on whether or not your opponents have the ability to, you know, destroy a bunch of stuff on your field or things like that, there can be more issues coming up from that. I was running summon limits in here for a little bit, but as you guys can probably imagine about how well that worked out, aka not well at all. So took them out. Last couple of cards I'm running is the Solemn Brigade. We have 3 Solemn Strike, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Solemn Judgment to close everything out. Monster effects are huge, and the spell and traps board has to be able to stop things. You have to be able to pop things on your opponent's board to make your board more manageable, to make their board more manageable for you as a wind-up player. The key to winning with this deck, guys, is to be the one who's popping the things that they control. And I mean, it's so important for you to be able to trigger those effects off and for you to be able to make your opponent's field manageable. So, you know, one spell or trap or monster effect blowout is not going to completely take you out of the entire game, as is prone for windups. But guys, that's going to be it for the main deck. As I mentioned, the extra deck is entirely up for you. I really wanted to showcase the power of the windup deck and what it has with 3 Magician in terms of its ability to spam. And, you know, there really is, it really is wonderful to see that card back to 3. And I'm super excited for it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe on the Team Time Riders Yu-Gi-Oh! channel. And this has been the Merman Master, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.